more effectively than the parry is going to be able to block. But we are in a game. We are not going to see any level 1 crazy invades as we see the champions already starting to fan out. Where do you think this level 1 will go?
I believe it will just be a stall point right now. I think both teams understand the power against each other. And so they're going to respect each other and really just kind of really play, I hope, more slowly and thoughtfully in making their decisions.
Yes, and actually, Ayakura not heading down to the bot side to get these plant seeds placed to get the early wave push, showing that Henry will be starting on this bottom side.
And we see, again, Rek'Sai starting on that blue side with Fiora being there as well. However, this is definitely going to be problematic for Fiora since she has the lack of AoE damage. And so she'll fall behind in the CS at the start, and it may be a lot harder for Fiora to catch back up. However, that does still do put the advantage at bottom lane to get that early EXP going.
Mm-hmm. But here we go. Quantum Physics going on for an early trade, landing that Thunderlord's proc as well as the Harrier proc off of the Vault, dealing a good amount of damage to Hollywood, but it's not really going to turn into anything. Henry actually looking to make a full clear of his jungle rather than... Nope, Rek'Sai will match that as well. Instead of going for a camp, or a buff camp, buff clear, they go...
Wow, what an incredible dodge. I can actually now see that. Quantum Physics actually using the Vault to dodge the Q of Syndra.
Mm-hmm. But the Vault does have a longer cooldown than the Dark Orb will, which does mean that this matchup will turn as levels go higher. Now, in the top lane, Misty Stumpy getting a little bit of damage onto Player John, but nothing really interesting. And as these lanes are just kind of farming it out during this early game, what items are you expecting out of the Quinn mid lane?
The standard lethality build, the Dustblade of Drakthar is definitely going to be one of those items. Yomu's for the move speed, and again, lethality. So the standard lethality build. I want to talk about the Ezreal's build and what he might be potentially building into. I don't think he's going to go for the Triforce here. I think he's going to definitely go for the Iceborne Gauntlet. Slow down the targets, definitely slow down the Fiora, and really kite the targets out. You don't want to be, caught in between a wall and a Rek'Sai.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and now Player John taking a little bit more damage under this tower.
Quite interesting that Fiora actually couldn't parry that.
Yeah, it should be rather easy to read the Nautilus auto attack pattern and know when
how
to get rooted.
It's so slow in the animation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here comes.
But here's Henry making a gank into the mid lane. Does get hit up by Scatter the Weak, but Exhaust does get used by Hollywood to save himself some of the damage. Good job from Hollywood to get away safely and trade back a little bit of that damage onto Henry.
Well, that's actually a good thing for Henry to come gank in mid to burn out that exhaust, because now it just leaves a ton of damage for Quinn to do with the combination of just all the Harriers.
Mm-hmm. And we see the lanes still farming up, but Rek'Sai is heading down towards this bot lane, and there is an on the way ping, but is Zyra going to spot him out? And
it looks like
look like Ayakura did manage to see RJ heading down. But Player John taking a lot of damage from Misty Stumpy, but here's Henry. Misty Stumpy goes super low, and Henry flashes but misses the Q. The Graves grenade goes wide, and Misty Stumpy walks away.
Actually, the grenade actually did connect. The grenade actually connected and left Misty Stumpy until like around 50 HP.
The second
the second part of it missed for sure, but the first part did hit.
Yeah. But here we see Dean doing a flash pulverize combo. Average for the Alistair, and it costs Ayakura and Mystic K both flashes in the bot lane.
Well, now for Rek'Sai to be seen on the map, it gives Graves the potential to actually counter jungle right on the top side of jungle and blue side.
Now we see Henry getting a little low in the blue side jungle, and Syndra and Fiora looking to collapse. Actually, Henry's in a bit of a tough spot here. Hollywood's there, as is Misty Stumpy. What is this going to turn into? Player John is following up behind Misty Stumpy, but it does look like Henry will be going for the blast cone and gets it. And Misty Stumpy does not manage to secure a kill onto Henry. Henry gets out scot-free and will continue farming up his jungle.
Pretty close one. That was definitely pretty close for Henry. And right now, First Blood is really quite important. It will set the tempo of this game.
Absolutely. This game, much more reserved than the games we've seen before. Both teams playing a little bit scared of what is to come. This is the final game, no matter what. Neither of them want to throw that based off of losing an early team fight, which only puts that much more pressure on the first team fight. If you wait for a later game team fight and lose, then you're likely going to stay behind the rest of the game.
That's definitely for sure. Ooh, that damage from Zyra.
Zyra spawning out 3 plants there with the
Quinn taking the blue buff.
Yep. Blue buff handed over to Quantum Physics. RJ actually looking a little bit low in his jungle. Quinn is around, but I don't think they will spot him out, and there will be nobody going to assassinate him.
Honestly, having blue buff, wow. Blue buff going onto Quantum Physics is definitely a good idea for sure, because of the fact that her ultimate costs 100 mana. Until it's max rank, it will cost a lot of mana.
Henry actually walking into the mid lane, but doesn't find anything. Hollywood landing good damage onto Quantum Physics, denying the pressure to come out from Quantum to approve this gank.
This is not necessarily a noodle fight, but definitely a fight up at top lane with Nautilus and Fiora. Taking care of wards inside their own jungle. And let's see, Rek'Sai invading right now.
Actually, Quantum Physics going in, lands the first Harrier proc, gets the second one, and flashes to finish the third one. That is a solo kill, First Blood, onto Hollywood from Quantum Physics. Both mid laners burned both summoners. Absolutely brutal play coming out from Quantum Physics, using the ultimate to jump onto Hollywood. Do you want to run us through what happened?
The Harrier proc, multiple Harrier procs on Hollywood. Hollywood kind of being overextensive, not respecting the damage that Quinn can actually do in these early parts of the game. So, getting hit by the vault, if you press the W on Quinn, it does put the proc of Harrier onto the target, and then you auto attack, and then you E, it applies the passive once again, and then you get hit again, and then using blind puts the passive again. So landing those skills and then to land auto attacks after one another definitely puts out the damage.
Absolutely, and we see Misty Stumpy and Player John back at it again in this top lane, just kind of picking on each other, but we see Quinn moving up through the bottom side river. Misty Stumpy doesn't see her, and she's gonna go down. Fiora dies. That is a second kill for Quantum Physics on this Quinn. Sorry. How do you think Quantum Physics is going to play out the rest of this game? He's already getting an early lead.
This is what Unlucky wants. They want Quantum Physics to get ahead. Their whole team pretty much revolves around Quantum Physics just staying in the game like this. And now that he's ahead, this far ahead, he can pretty much do what his signature Quinn play of just providing global pressure with the move speed that Quinn provides for herself, just getting around, and almost split pushing every single lane. Almost considered another type of jungle, really.
And we actually see Player John moving down to this middle lane. Maybe they're looking for a fight. Quinn is coming in with the Valor move speed. True Shot Barrage does fire true and lands onto Hollywood and Artemis, followed along with the blind coming out from Quinn, dropping the mid laner and the AD carry to about half health, and that's going to be pressure on this mid tower for free.
Fiora's pushing up top here, though, but Quinn is making her trip up there very quickly. That move speed that from Valor is just, it's definitely a lot. Without even boots, you can get around the map within seconds.
Thank you, chat, for reminding us that we did need to update the scoreboard.
Ooh, TP coming in from Fiora. However, I'm not sure if this is the right call, though.
Dropping the grand challenge onto Henry. The Deadly Flourish does go wide, but here's the curtain call. Flash on Burrow from RJ. And Quinn is onto Syndra in the back line. She goes down. That is a mid laner for a jungler. What can Columbia College do to salvage the rest of this fight? Player John flashes in, lands the dredge line onto Dean, and Dean has to use the ultimate and is taking up some of this damage, but Player John is relentless. Dean jumping into the back line, knocking up Quinn and Zyra, but Mystic Decay is here pumping out constant damage, and there goes Dean. But Player John does follow Misty Stumpy actually doing a good parry, blocking a Harrier proc, but Mystic Decay using the wall to block his opening from Fiora, and Quinn picks a triple kill up on the backside of that fight, and Ezreal finishes off Fiora with the True Shot Barrage. That is a full 5 for 1, I believe.
Yes, Nautilus is the only one who went down. That is huge for Unlucky. Quantum Physics is now 6 kills in, and this is going to be monstrous. As a matter of fact, he has all 7 kills participated in this game already, and first tower is about to go down at this bottom lane here.
But we see Syndra pushing up the mid lane, but we will not actually see much pressure going down due to Quinn and Graves being on the wings.
Way too much damage on this Quinn already. Being able to practically 3-shot Syndra, that was impressive. Syndra, now seeing the mechanics of how Syndra plays against Quinn, there's just nothing that she can do. If you press Q right on it, Quinn E's, and if Syndra E's at that exact moment, apparently, as seeing right there, she's invulnerable.
And here we see possibly a dive onto this top tower. Misty Stumpy getting held down under this tower by Nautilus and Quantum Physics. But Quantum Physics actually has his Valor channel canceled by a minion auto attack and is moving to pick up this red buff from Henry. Quantum Physics 6-0 with an assist. He is absolutely a monster this game.
He can practically solo anybody in this game right now. And it's ridiculous. Despite it being an All-Star, you're going to need all your spells to pretty much take down this Quinn as an All-Star.
Oh, yeah.
So, you better not find yourself between the claws of Valor and Quinn.
Yeah. You will be falling to a quick demise. Quantum Physics at least trying to make it a little painless on his opponents as he kills them very quickly.
Very quickly. And here it comes.
Here we go.
Oh boy, there it goes. Oh.
The vault, but he misses the blind. That means his damage only gets about halfway through. Artemis gets to recall safely and didn't have to burn a single summoner for that. Maybe we're seeing Quantum playing a little
too
aggressively.
Well, the thing is, though, he did manage to get an exhaust out from Syndra in that place, so that is a spell going down. And honestly, a flash from Quinn is not the biggest thing. You still have your vault. You still actually have...
And here we see RJ getting absolutely erased under the tower. I couldn't even see what happened because it went so fast. But we have Syndra back in the mid lane. Hollywood bringing the damage, landing the Scatter of the Week through the minions, not on any champions though. and it will just clear out the wave and make Unlucky reset.
I don't even know where to begin with that obliteration from Rek'Sai. I mean, you're supposed to defend a tower, but it...
Oh! Actually, a fantastic scout of the week from Hollywood, and Ayakura is down. Artemis is firing the curtain call. What can we see here in the back line? Henry with the flank is not actually going to be able to pull much out against this Fiora. I don't think the Deadly Flourish does go wide, but Fiora does get the solo kill on him. A little over-aggressive from the unlucky side.
Oh, an Infernal Drake here. However, here comes Quinn.
Yes, and Quinn on the side, but the Infernal Drake is going to fall, and Columbia College is going to back away as 4, but Player Sean is on the front of the enemy team's escape, but he gets damaged so hard from Syndra and Jin that he is forced to flash over the wall, and Columbia College get away scot-free.
True Shot Barrage slowing down Syndra's back.
Yep, but True Shot Barrage not really bringing too much to the table, only to prevent a recall from happening.
The gold is not getting spread out on Columbia College's team, and that is quite problematic. It's only going to Jin and Fiora. Fiora is definitely strong. However, though, the problem of the matter is, who do you plan on ulting? If you ult the tank, which is the most optimal, to be honest, it would shred out the tank, you know, almost guaranteed that you're going to shred out the tank and kill them. However, though, that, you know, Quinn is just going to pretty much murder the rest of your team. So there's definitely going to be huge communication issues here that might take place for Columbia College. Oh, they're getting caught out.
Absolutely. Mystic Decay taking a lot of damage. What can Artemis do? The curtain call is not up, but it is finished cooling down just now. Maybe we see a attempt on sniping out Mystic Decay, but we see Quantum Physics split pushing in the bot lane. Henry split pushing in the mid lane. And Columbia College is just slow on the uptake here. Fiora's trying to push top wave in, but Nautilus is there. She's not going to get the tower. And they're losing one tower and a lot of damage onto their middle inner. And Quantum Physics is not backing away. He's actually moving into the red side jungle, looking for a flank on this rotation from Columbia College, pushing up very far. Hollywood all on his own, but Quinn doesn't know that. Quinn does jump onto Dean, and Dean is going to fall. There's no way he's making it. Actually, there isn't a way. RJ coming in.
No, he doesn't.
There isn't a way with the True Shot Barrage.
Fiora teleport. Here it comes.
Is a teleport into a 4v1.
What are you doing?
Aggressive, but a good scout of the week landing on a Henry and Quantum of the Physics. And Quantum Physics goes down. So does Henry. Mystic Decay is alive, but Artemis and Hollywood are pushing down the mid lane with Misty Stumpy. These are the 3 carries. These are the 3 people that need to be alive, and they are. Columbia College absolutely winning that fight and still looking to push even further.
They still have potential wave clear, though, with Zyra and Ezreal, so they won't be able to grab this tower. But we saw Quantum Physics doing exactly what he wanted to do. Provide the split push pressure on practically 2 lanes. You've got the mid going in, and now you have bot. You put all your resources onto top lane and try to push that out, and you lose the bottom lane. He's just so fast with the Quinn to get around places. And he actually still manages to kill Rek'Sai right before dying. He's got plenty of power behind his back.
Absolutely, but the Scout of the Week bringing Quantum Physics down does prove to Columbia College that he is not unbreakable.
Well, we have to keep in mind, though, it took the whole team of Columbia College to take him down, though. And now this Rift Herald being taken here and will definitely be going on to Quantum Physics.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be one scary
Quinn.
I keep wanting to call her Finn for some reason. They should make a champion named Finn.
I don't know. And look at that, just in time for Baron to spawn.
Absolutely. Getting the Rift Herald at the last possible second.
Oh my. That tower's just going to go.
That's gone. The Rift Herald brought down so much tower health. in one shot.
We might see a fight here. I would like to see what Dragon's coming up here next.
John's actually looking for a dredge line. It does go wide, and Dean knocks him up. Deadly Flourish does land, and he is knocked up from Rek'Sai as well.
That
but Rek'Sai
damage
overextends by far, and Player John follows with a flash, as does Quantum Physics. RJ is going to fall. They opted into that fight for some reason. They knew they were outnumbered. And pretty much
tried
to fight that.
And lacking in damage. Not something you want to kind of do. You're overstepping, your line. There's nothing to really honestly to defend anymore. So why are you staying here in particular? Oh
and
my
Misty
goodness.
Stumpy getting blown up in the bot lane by Quantum Physics. It's not going to matter that he parried that. But the curtain call coming out from Jhin onto Mystic Decay. He does actually make it out of the range. Can Dean manage to finish this kill as the cow moo?
You can't milk those.
You cannot, or at least Mystic Decay cannot, as he falls to the support of Columbia College.
Next dragon coming up. Oh man, if only we can see the dragon right now. Graves is nearby. We'll see it when they go get it.
Yeah, one day. Let's see. Graves. Oh, just as he moves to. It isn't. Ocean.
Ocean Drake. Not too bad. It would be very useful for Player John as a Nautilus. Not so much for Quinn, though. Quinn doesn't lose out on mana anymore once she gets to level 16, which Quantum Physics is almost there.
Yeah.
He's getting farmed from practically all the lanes. He owns them all now.
Yet he's still only 10 CS over Hollywood, showing that he's playing very well on the Syndra. And
however, we have to keep in mind he is definitely 8 kills over anybody.
True. And Misty Stumpy does go down a little too over-aggressive, hopping over that dragon wall, trying to steal it with a Tiamat proc. Practically no chance, and just...
I'm starting to realize something about this Syndra. She has to choose which target to really ult. She may land a lot of the stuns with the Shadow of the Weak, but then the ult has to go on a particular target. Who does that target gonna be? I mean, you've got Graves who can dish out a lot of damage. Ezreal here starting to catch up, get some of that damage. Once that Moral Mana is finished, who do you target? You're gonna have to target at least one of them.
I'd say Quinn. She's the more burst potential. And speaking of burst potential, we actually see in the backside of that fight, Quantum Physics moving onto Artemis, blowing him out of the waters, and then the Night's Edge coming through, blocking the Scatter of the Weak from Syndra, and she drops as well. Now Quantum Physics turning her sights on to Misty Stumpy. Dean actually knocking up Quantum Physics as well as a flash on Burrow from RJ. Quantum Physics will be dropping, but Mystic Decay is still in the back line, pumping out damage. Ayakura gets executed somewhere in the fight. And Player John does fall to Misty Stumpy on Fiora. That is a overall 3 for 2 on this fight. Overall 2 for 2 really with the gold, seeing how Ayakura was executed. But absolutely
I think it was actually necessary for the execute to actually happen. Realizing now that Rek'Sai and Fiora could definitely catch up to Zyra and get the gold. So shutting yourself down like that, without giving them the gold, probably a better option. Mm-hmm. However, though, again, Quantum Physics showing that power, now 12 kills in. It requires the whole team to shut him down. He's that big, and that is really problematic again. Ezreal here still not finished with that Moral Mana, but once that gets going and Graves gets another item for himself as well, it's going to be pretty much mayhem for Columbia College to really do anything at all.
Absolutely, and we see Quantum Physics going in with the movement speed, dealing so much damage to this reasonably tanky Rek'Sai with the Randuin's Omen and the Cinder Hulk.
Losing about a fifth of his health in one combo.
But here we see Rek'Sai stealing away some of these Raptors, but RJ is here to fight for them. And yet, here we see again Quantum Physics moving in with this movement speed. Will he find Misty Stumpy? It does not look like any aggressive play will be made there, but Henry does get locked down by Deadly Flourish. It will not matter though. Misty Stumpy in the bottom lane, getting depth charge, but using that to stun Quantum Physics. A very fancy looking play, but he still does drop very quickly. Now, what can we see from the curtain call? Artemis popping those shots onto Henry, dropping him rather low, but Mystic Decay is fine. And the blue tower does go down. Quantum Physics just shows up, one-shots it, and it's gone. 13, 2, and 3 now. 100% kill participation, and a good 80% of those kills are his. RJ getting flashed on by Player John, dropping very, very low Mystic Decay, hitting out Hollywood with the full Ezreal combo, and Zyra does drop Hollywood with the Stranglethorns. Can Dean get away now? Using the ultimate, does not get away. Artemis is the sole carry left alive. Actually, never mind. Misty Stumpy now responding, but this is a lot of pressure onto this middle lane inhibitor tower, and can Fiora and Artemis manage to chase anybody down and secure any of these return kills?
This is definitely really hard.
Oh, never mind. Quantum Physics onto Artemis, blows him up. 2 shots. The vault and an auto attack. That was it. Quantum Physics doesn't even need the full Quinn burst anymore. How do you even recover from this?
You don't. You can't. By this point, it's too late. Quinn, with this much items on her back or on her hands, it's just unstoppable. A Bork's being made. And once that Bork is finished, you have no tanks on your side anymore. With this much damage, Quinn is just unstoppable at this point. Quantum Physics has pretty much cemented himself as the dominant force for Unlucky here.
Absolutely, but
Here it
he
comes.
does get hit by Scatter the Weak. Gets
And
hit
he's
by
still
Syndrome Ultimate, and he's
alive!
alive! He just walks out of the fight. He flashes and vaults away. Player John going really, really low, and Henry and a Mystic Decay are actually dropping very, very low to this Baron. Henry does secure it, and they both escape over the wall. Ayakura does drop in the backline though, and Misty Stumpy going aggressive, takes down Henry, but Quantum Physics comes in with the vault, finishes him off. That is an overall 3 for 1, but Unlucky getaway with 2 procs on the Baron.
Aww.
Mystic Decay, scumbag, knocks Quantum Physics back towards the Columbia College team, but nobody is there.
The Bork is finally finished for Quinn, but however, again, Quantum Physics survived how many CC lockdown? An Airborne, a Syndra Ultimate, and Shatter the Weak. All those CC and all those people collapsing onto
And look at
Quantum Physics
on the side, waiting for this recall to get channeled. Look,
What?
caught him window shopping.
One shot!
Caught him window shopping, and here's Player John teleporting in as well. Moving in with the Home Guards and the Nautilus. That is a very fast diver. Will we see any dredge lines coming through? The minions actually look to block the dredge line, saving Dean's life. Heroic sacrifice.
We're always used to that meme of Syndra always having the outplay button. Press R, and the target dies. Quinn here almost seems like to have the same thing, but instead it's E. Outplayed.
Absolutely. And red team taking another dragon. That is 3 against 1 on the Unlucky side. But you see Quantum Physics actually not 100% kill participation anymore. Scumbag teammates did kill somebody off while he was not around, so they can take that stat away from him. But he is still 20 out of 21. Good enough.
Close enough, definitely. Honestly, I'm really curious what would happen if Quinn were to build a Triforce into this. How much more damage can you actually dish out with the Triforce? You don't necessarily need boots. So, I mean, does Quinn even have boots? But anywho, looking at the gold here, oh my gosh, that's 9,400 against 16,000. What happened?
That's a pretty reasonable lead.
Definitely. Yeah, you don't necessarily need boots on Quinn. Oh my goodness,
Jeez.
the one shot.
Words.
We didn't even get to see it.
Yeah,
It's
it
that
happened
fast.
as it happened. Quantum Physics does get knocked up by RJ though, and Dean following into the backline, but Quantum is available to kite this out. Dean is going to be falling as well as Misty Stumpy. Artemis is super low. Misty PK lands the final auto attack needed, and Misty PK does escape safely. That is a clean ace. 29 29 minutes into the game. 30-second respawns on everybody. This is going to be game. Misty Stumpy's already left. Here we see people backing out, closing the game down, because that is going to be Unlucky taking the series 2-1. Unlucky are your third place victors of the Wichita Esports 50.